Hello, I'm Martin Clay, the Dean of Postgraduate Studies at Regents Theological College, and I mainly lecture in Old Testament studies, so Hebrew Bible, biblical theology, and I teach Hebrew language as well at undergraduate level. So as Dean of Postgraduate Studies, I'm primarily responsible for looking after the Level 7 taught programs. So that's our MA in Applied Theology, a 3-year part-time program for most students, a postgraduate certificate in Applied Theology, and of course we teach an MRes in Theology, which has partly taught elements and part research elements. The goal of our programs is really to equip students to develop their critical skills, to develop a level of theological depth so that they feel more confident in their ministry and also in their chosen vocation. So whether you're a chaplain, whether you're a church leader, or whether you're a lay person but you want to be better equipped both to serve in church and in your professional role, then our courses are designed to help you. So I think for many of our students, they come in, some have a previous theology degree or religious studies degree, but by no means the majority. Some would have other higher education backgrounds and degrees. Some people come in and they've just been working, particularly as pastors, for a long time, and they've never had the opportunity to get the accreditation for all the knowledge and learning which they've built up. So our courses give students an opportunity to hone and develop their skills, moving from kind of personal self-development in an informal sense. And we provide a forum where they can study theology and they get feedback and they're taught proper analytical skills and can develop that way. And what I've noticed is one of the major outcomes for our students is confidence. I think for many, they suspect they could do a master's degree. They know that they know scripture and theology, or at least have some kind of background, but they've never tested their mettle, if you like, and they come in, often starting the course a bit nervous and daunted. But by the time they've got a couple of modules under their belt, they start to realize that they do have the skills, they do have the ability to operate as responsible theologians in the world. I think another feature of our program is, of course, it's applied theology. So the program is also about where the rubber hits the road. You know, how does theology pay off in real life, in ministry or in chaplaincy work? So many of the assessments encourage our students to reflect on their current practice or their current or previous experience, and then using develop theological models to reflect and refine and think on how they might improve their practice going forward. So whether that's how you do discipleship, how you engage in a secular setting as a chaplain, our courses will help you with that. And then I think the third thing we offer scholarship at the cutting edge of the latest research. So if you're interested in biblical studies, we teach in the areas of biblical theology, and you get to explore the latest ideas and theories and interpretations of how Scripture holds together and how Old Testament feeds into the New Testament. Or if you're interested in Pentecostal theology, you can look at what are Pentecostal theologians saying to the church, the academy, the wider world. What are the theories which are springing up in the US, the global South, or the UK? So it's a chance, if you like, to bring your study and your knowledge up to date and ensure that you're working with the latest ideas which are appropriate for our 21st century context. My theological interests are quite varied. My major focus in terms of teaching is Hebrew Bible or Old Testament, with a particular focus on the Torah, especially the books of Genesis and Deuteronomy, which I just love because they're so theologically rich, but they raise so many questions which Just think of a text such as the binding of Isaac in Genesis 22, all the ethical, moral, theological questions that raises, and you can unpack in dialogue with Christian commentators and Jewish exegetes and even the Quran. You can look at how this text has been taken up and used and interpreted over the centuries. I find it fascinating. And I also focus on the prophets, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, these prophets who suffered for what they believed, but also brought these incredible visions of the restoration of Israel and Judah and a messianic future. And I'm fascinated by the interplay of prophecy and how that feeds in then into the Christian understanding and vision of the world, and which are the most appropriate models to relate Old Testament prophecy to what happened in Jesus when he came for us. So I'm interested in those areas. I'm also interested in the intersection of continental philosophy and scripture. So how can the insights of recent continental philosophy, thinkers like Gianni Vattimo or Jan Kars-Melech, their ideas on ethics, nihilism, secularization, the role of charity, this era we're living in now, the 21st century, how do their insights and their theories, if we read scripture in dialogue with them, what light can they cast on scripture? So that's more a kind of generative, creative exercise in reading scripture, which I find interesting and inspiring. And then I suppose the other thing I'm interested in is German literature and culture in the 20th century. Such a amazing history, from a world war to the most stable democracy at the heart of Europe today, and so many writers who have drawn on the Christian tradition or critique the Christian tradition. And I'm thinking here mainly of both philosophers, theologians, but also novelists and poets. How have they drawn on the Christian tradition to help shape the public discourse in Germany? That's something I'm interested in, because I'm interested in what it means to be a responsible Christian in the public sphere in the 21st century, and what are the resources and ideas we can draw on from the Christian tradition to shape a faithful witness within our context in Europe today.